Make sure to subscribe to our channel, join our Discord, and also follow us on Instagram so you always have the support that you need to really enhance your account and get yourself to the next level. Also, if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can save a lot of money when you make in-game purchases in The Legend of Mushroom by getting some amazing cashbacks each time you purchase anything. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So I made another video where I showed you how starting up works for your guardians, and now I want to talk about merging and how you can get your preferred orange guardian using your rat souls. Firstly, you have 4 spirit souls of 4 orange guardians that you can choose from. Each of them has different skills and each of them has different requirements for you to actually get them. The only requirement that changes is this one particular purple soul that it requires for you to make this orange guardian, right? So for this one, you do need to have at least one 1-star panda, otherwise you won't be able to make this. The others can of course be whatever you want, as long as one of them is also a 5-star guardian, and that 5-star guardian is going to be the one which has the remold skills locked in. As you can see, if I change that orange guardian, the requirement changes. So now you can have anything in the other 3, but you do need to have this wolf as one of them to unlock this particular guardian. Same thing here. Now there's a tiger, and same thing here. It is the lion for this particular one. So you need to decide which is your preferred orange guardian, and you have to make sure you are keeping one 1-star guardian for that particular merge. Otherwise you are going to be stuck and you're not going to be able to do that, and you might end up being forced to either wait things out or choose the guardian that you didn't want to get. Because, for example, if I have this tiger that is more than 1 star, I cannot use it in this particular slot. So I want to make sure I have at least one tiger that's 1 star if I want to have this particular guardian merged. Now if you press and hold any of the guardians, you can actually see their skills and passive abilities. For example, this one, it increases the final damage res and increases all shield effects by 30%. So if you're a warrior that has a lot of shields, this can probably come in handy. And then you can see the attacks on non-guardian units is 240% mixed damage. And you can also check the passive, though I think the passive might be fairly similar for all 4 of them. Let's go to the Crazy Rider. It increases the final damage res by a smaller amount than the Panda one. This is 32%. That one was actually 48%. But it also increases evasion by 20% and energy regeneration by 20%. And it does 400% mixed damage to non-guardian units. So while the final damage res is less and it doesn't have the ability to increase shields, it does give you evasion, energy regeneration, and more damage to non-guardian units. It has a higher T-pen, which is essentially the attack, but lower tenacity, which is essentially the health, as compared to this Panda Mech Master. The third one, you can see that it increases final damage res by 24%, which is less than the earlier 2. However, look at the amount of damage it's doing to non-guardian units, 720, and it also reduces all of their HP regeneration effects by 30% for 3 seconds. That's very interesting because instead of guardians, it's focusing on your player, doing a fairly high amount of damage to the player and also reducing the HP regeneration effects. In case you have one of those characters that do a lot of healing, this can actually be a pain for them. To make matters even better, it has an even higher T-pen, which is essentially the attack, than the previous one, which already had a higher T-pen than that Panda. And the difference is significant, right? 735, 1764, and this one is 3920. Of course, tenacity, which is the HP, did take a big dip, as you can imagine. This seems like a pretty big damage dealer, but not that big of a survivor. Finally, this one, Death Reaper, final damage res 32%, which is good. It's aligned with the Crazy Rider, but of course less than the Panda, but more than the damage dealer we were talking about just now. It deals extra damage equal to 1.2% of the target's maximum HP for every 5 characters basic attack hits and every 3 PAL basic attack hits. And ignores damage immunity, and it counts this 3 PAL basic attacks independently for each pal. And then attacks on non-guardian units deal 280% mixed damage. Okay, so overall pretty interesting. It does hit target's maximum HP, and the number of times it does that damage is fairly high. Every 5 character basic attacks or every 3 pal basic attack hits. And since you're going to have multiple pals, it's counting each individual pal's 3 basic attacks, which is interesting as well. And then the attacks to non-guardian units deal a bunch of damage, though that damage isn't very high. Now, one thing I'm not 100% sure about is this damage to the target's maximum HP only for guardians? Because it doesn't say non-guardian until it comes to this point. So this makes me wonder, which I'm really not sure of, if this actually is only talking about doing damage to the enemy's guardian every 5 character basic attacks and every 3 pal basic attacks. No way for me to be 100% sure. Maybe somebody knows that answer. I'll leave you to write it in the comments, but for now there's that ambiguity which I don't know. Comparing the T-Pen and the Tenacity, both of these numbers aren't particularly high based on what we've been looking at. So I'll say this one seems to be the most interesting in my opinion for me. I want to give this one a try. Very high attack, very low health, something similar to what I'd expect from the Archer class. So let's try to make the Domain Hunter be my first orange guardian. Now, what do I need if I want this to be the guardian? Well, I need to make sure that at least one tiger remains by the end of making my main guardian 5-star, right? So I'm going to go here, I'm going to select this, I'm going to select star up, and I'm going to make sure that no matter what I do, I don't end up using this one particular tiger because I need it for the merge, right? All the others I can use as fodder. And now that I'm done with the 5-star, I can go into the merge. I can select this particular guardian. Now I do have to undeploy it, and let me unlock it as well, then go there, and you can see that I have one 1-star tiger, and then I can use this one. I actually have multiple of these, so I will probably try to save 1 copy of every purple guardian if I can, and then I'll put this one in the main slot and click merge, and boom, now I have an orange guardian. Pretty cool, and as you can imagine, I did get some extra remold skills, and I maintained the red tenacity that I wanted to maintain because I made sure that the main guardian, the one that was 5-star, was the one with that good remold skill, right? So there we have it. That's how we got the first orange guardian. Before you go, I want you to know you can save a lot of money in the Legend of Mushroom. All you need to do is follow the steps in the video that I'm linking to the description of this video, or click the button that's going to appear at the top of the screen that'll take you to that video. Keep in mind, you can only use my promo code 5 times every 30 days, so make sure you're using it on the highest value purchases to get the maximum return on investment. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.